Welcome to Thursday, the 27th day of February, 2025. Well, February is going out like a lamb as mild Pacific air that has really come in full force is going to continue for a little bit longer. So you can lounge around like that guy there here for another few days, enjoying some pretty tranquil weather, really, before things start to get busy again late this weekend and certainly as we get into next week. But between now at the end of the weekend, we're just going to kind of go through the motions here with above average temperatures, dry conditions, and what will be some nice weather across the Intermountain West and the Western High Plains. There's a small little system that'll come out of California, swing through the southwest United States, end up in the southern and central plains by Sunday into Monday, producing a little batch of shower activity, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms. It really isn't going to be much. But for some of you in those areas, you might get a little bit of shower activity. Then as we get into next week, we're still talking about the change. Two systems, one which is going to come in late Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, will then be followed by another system in the Thursday, Friday timeframe. There will be another large system coming in following that one a few days later. And we see that just continuing. About every 2 or 3 days, systems will be coming through Western North America. So take advantage of and enjoy the next few days. So get outside, soak it all in, and enjoy the warmer temperatures and the nice vistas. Satellite photos show a lot of fair weather from the Central Plains to the West Coast. The jet stream right now getting deflected way up into Canada, where you can see the clouds there. Then as we showed you yesterday, plenty going on in the Pacific. Look how large this storm is. These storm systems can really get quite big and strong and robust this time of year across the North Pacific. But a lot of the nation just settling down. Just a week ago, we had 30, 40 degree below temperatures. So nice to see things a little bit different across the USA. Temperatures and conditions will be mild as long as we have this configuration of the jet stream going north, but before taking a dip and high pressure overhead. Here's that little low that's going to come into the West Coast over the weekend and then slide through. So this is today. This is by Sunday morning. So this system up here breaks off from the main low, comes in. This one scoots off to the east. And then we end up with something like this. A little bit of a low by Sunday morning over New Mexico. The stronger, larger storm system coming into Northern California. But as we mentioned, this will produce a little bit of weather in the form of some showers and thunderstorms. It really won't produce anything significant until it can get some moisture into it. But a little bit of shower activity over Arizona. You can see here in California. But the northern Rockies, the northern plains, there's just a lot of nada, zilch, zero happening through Sunday in this time frame. So some shower and thunderstorm activity, though, will develop in the Panhandle region, northern areas of New Mexico, maybe southern areas of Colorado. By Tuesday morning, though, this system here off the Northern California coast works its way in and briefly becomes a closed low, maybe more than briefly, over eastern Colorado. Now, this is where it always gets tricky. When you start to get closed circulations at 18,000 feet, a closed low we call it, where the air circulates all the way around it, is when you start to get the opportunities for upslope east of the Continental Divide, which is what you got to do to get wet east of the divide, something we haven't had really this winter at all. It's made it be a situation where only Arctic fronts have been able to bring snow to the plains east of the mountains in many areas, especially when you get along Interstate 80 north and south, and at times Interstate 70 as well. So we'll see how this comes together, because the finer details of this upper level low as it gets east of the divide will dictate whether or not it's just a little bit of moisture east of the divide or something that's maybe more robust. We'll have to see. We're more than 5 days out, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll have an update for you tomorrow. But this is a classic March configuration here. As this storm leaves the plains and the east slopes of the Rockies, it will head up into the upper plain states and intensify a little bit. The Gulf is open for business, so that's going to bring in moisture. Here's the cold air coming in from the northwest. You know what that means? Yeah, this is the recipe for some severe weather. See how it intensifies as it goes up toward Chicago there? So this will be a classic late winter, early spring storm. As you'll get snow on the back end of it, cold air comes in on the backside, and you're going to get severe weather breaking out ahead of the low as it heads east. And already there is a real good possibility. This is by Tuesday of next week. We're probably going to have some severe weather right in the nation's midsection, especially down here into Arkansas, Louisiana, East Texas, Mississippi, Alabama. Those areas already has been identified by the Storm Prediction Center in the 6-day outlook for severe weather. So it's that time of year. So that is something that you need to kind of keep track of, especially if you're going to be traveling next week. I see some travel concerns, whether it's snow and ice or severe weather. By Thursday into Friday, another low comes off the west coast and comes in. Now, this system won't be as strong, but it will drag in Pacific moisture. So this is system number 2. It just reloads up here in the Gulf of Alaska, and the pattern will favor this system to come in right behind it, right around the 10th, 11th, 12th. Between, let's say, the 11th and 15th of March, these two systems will probably work together to bring more wintry weather to western North America. High pressure building up strongly here will allow this system to dig in a little bit stronger, deeper, and take a little bit of a slower time moving through. So all indications suggest once we turn the calendar into March, things get busy again. And the Pacific North American oscillation, which we've showed you here over the last couple of weeks, if you look at the green line here, it goes from the positive phase during the warmer weather that we've got now, and then it starts to go negative as we get into the weekend and in the next week. And this green line here is the mean of all the model runs staying in a negative configuration all the way out to many, many days here. Also favoring the transition to a more stormy March is the continued erosion of La Nina. Really, the last 2 weeks, wow, there's been a lot of change. We still have this pocket of colder water in what we call El Nino region, Enzo region 3 and 4. We divide up the tropical Pacific into sections because these different sections of where it's warmer or colder is important. Just not one big stretch of water, but little sections. So this is where we call sections 3 and 4. These are sections 1 and 2. So 3 and 4 is still cold, but look at the warmth that has evolved here just off the coast of South America. And as the wind patterns change across the Pacific, as the water temperatures change, these warmer waters will continue to work west and erode away the colder water here. And if you look in the last 7 days, just in the last 7 days, the sea surface temperature anomaly change has really warmed up. So this is eroding La Nina. It's in its death throes. And you can really see this on the graph. 3-4 still shows the negative as that blue patch of water showed you. It's below the 0 point here, but notice the trend line is warming. But look at the eastern side. Look at this trend change since just about a month ago. It has really warmed up significantly. It's now 0.7. So it is completely out of La Nina status on the eastern side. So it's basically gone. And we're going to continue to see that erosion. And that lends itself for March, April, and May to kind of get back to a more typical March, April, and May with La Nina continuing to fade. Have yourself a great Thursday. We'll talk to you on Friday.